Hey, and welcome back to the Cluttered Garage one more time. Today, I'm going to be rebuilding the side door for our race trailer slash cargo trailer. I looked online and I found several videos out there. I really didn't find everything that I wanted to know about how to do this. So I decided to create this video. The door that I'm going to show you how to build is considerably more substantial than the door that came on this particular trailer, and I'm sure most every other's. Unfortunately, I'm not Steven Spielberg, and I lost some video footage during the transfer of files. The only thing that I lost was the intro and the original layout and the plans and that sort of thing. Draw up a plan, get all your tools and all your supplies, and this thing will go a whole lot smoother. I wasted a bunch of time because I didn't do that properly like I should have. Um, in the assembly of this thing, I cut everything to length. My door is 47 wide, 69 and I think a half tall. And I used a Kreg pocket hole jig. That's Kreg. And I glued and screwed this thing together. The finished product is very, very solid. Way more substantial than the original door, as you will see. And I'm sure it's more substantial than anything else out there. I'm going to divide this video into sections so you can kind of refer back to it as necessary as you build your own door. Hope this helps someone. Please come back to the channel from time to time. We have all kinds of things planned. Um, if you wouldn't mind, click that like and subscribe button down there on the bottom. It helps us out with YouTube. And without further ado, here's the door. All right, we got the frame all done. Now what I'm gonna do is put the inside liner, the backing, whatever you want to call it, on the frame. I'll be using my pneumatic stapler, and I think I'm gonna put a little glue on there just to make it solid. All right, now I'll take this, flip it over, and trim up the outside, excess off the outside with the skill saw. All right, so this morning I went downtown and got some sheeting. This is a little thicker than what came on the trailer. It was a 040 40 thousandths thick material. This is an 050. It's what they use on the bigger trucks and trailers, 18 wheelers and that sort of thing. Can't help but believe that that's going to be a little better on the door because it's a little more rigid material. So anything that makes the door more solid, the better. What I need to do now, obviously this is way bigger. It's 49 by 110, so it's way bigger than what's necessary. But what I'm going to do is put this material on top of the door. I'm going to clamp it in place, and I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to trace where it needs to be cut. I'm going to take it back off, and we'll get our power shears out and cut it, and it'll be ready to go on the door. All right, that's clamped in place. Flush on that side, flush on the top. Take the Sharpie. All right, we're marked. I guess you can see the marks on there. Now I'm gonna get the power shears out and cut this thing up. Like this, this is a $120 piece of material, so you hopefully got it right the first time. It doesn't have to be totally perfect because the trim that goes on the edges of the doors will hide the imperfections. Now we'll cut the width. Oh, by the way, this is a Bauer power shear from good old Harbor Freight. I've used it before doing the last trailer repair, and these things work really good. All right, the moment of truth, see if we cut it right. And apparently we did. May take a little bit of extra on this corner here, but this is cut now, and the next thing I'll do is take the old door apart, get the material we need off of it, all the trim that goes around the outside that actually holds the whole door together. This thing has a plastic sheeting on the sheet here to protect it from scratches. So we'll peel some of that back to where we can get the trim on here, and we'll be right back to tackle that. All right, so we got the old door here off the trailer. We got to pull all this trim off of it to wrap around the outside of the new door. Let's get it up on the stand. These are square drive screws in here, but they're actually 8-point. And I found this neat little tool on Amazon for 8-pointed screws like this. I stripped out several of the old square drives. I'm going to probably replace all these screws with new ones. A lot of rust on them. You can find all these screws on Amazon, of course. Heck, what can't you find on Amazon? But that's a real weak area right there where we cut out for the door handle. This plywood on here is a repair that I made earlier. Try to keep this door going. I'm going to pull it off as well. This door really had a lot of rot in it from water intrusion. That screw didn't even come out. It just broke. That one broke off. All right, now we'll flip this over and take the screws on the other side to make sure we don't have any more around here. Yep, we're good here. We'll flip it over now. All right, now we'll take all these screws out. The wood's so rotten or in the metal around that one, it won't even come out, so we'll just leave it there. Now we got to get all the corner brackets loose. They should just pop off. Pull the weather stripping off of them, they come right off. All right, that's got that one off. Now we're gonna start taking this trim off. It's got a little bit of silicone on it. We'll be careful not to bend that up. Well, we're going to clean that up a little bit when we go back, before we go back together with it. Some of the silicone's pretty tight. This is the bottom of the door, and for some reason they got it really sealed up a lot. So. Been a little stubborn. Pretty nasty down there. You can see this this door is not quite as heavy duty built as the one I made. These are like 1x3s or something, and I used 1x6s, and it's got a considerable amount more bracing in it compared to this original door here. Hopefully that's going to be good for us in the long run. You can see all the rot down on the bottom end here where water has intruded, and it just rotted stuff from the inside out. And not a chemist, but I can tell you from replacing several storm doors and now this too, aluminum will rust. It's rust, quote rust. It's not really rust. It is it's a chemical reaction that goes on in there, and it actually will rot the aluminum. You can see these spots here where it's rotted the aluminum out, which is the main reason why we're replacing this door anyway, because it's I think where steel touches it and it starts to rust. I don't really know exactly how it works. I'm sure you can Google it and find it online, but that's what happened to the door here. It was it just rotted out, including the aluminum. So now we will we'll put the new door frame back up there, and we will put the new skin over it, and then we'll take our Sharpie and we'll trace everything out. Now this door was not properly aligned in the door frame. It was a little low, so we had a 1/2 inch gap at the top and it was rubbing at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split that difference. I'm going to move this door up in the opening 1/4 inch. That should give us theoretically a 1/4 inch clearance on the top and the bottom. So I'll put the new frame up here, put the new skin over it, and then I'll adjust the door frame as the old skin as necessary to make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. All right, so as you can see, this door frame is considerably more substantial than the one we just took off by a bunch. I considered actually attaching this new metal to the frame with silicone. Then I figured that should the need ever arise to replace the skin for some reason, that silicone holding the thing on would just about negate being able to get it off. So that wasn't glued together whatsoever. At least on this one, the The plywood on the inside of the door, I actually glued it to the frame. That may be good, maybe bad, I don't know, but that's the way I did it. Okay, I'm going to put the old door skin, and this stuff is so much lighter than this new stuff, it's ridiculous. Again, there's a plastic protective coating on this new stuff, but I put the rags under there just to give me a little bit extra room. Trying to get it all squared up on here as best I can. All right, now we're going to move the entire door up 1/4 of an inch, but this relationship here has to stay the same. What I'm going to do with the hinges is once I get the door all put back together, I'll put the door in the frame and then put the hinges on at that point, actually on the trailer itself. All right, so now I'm going to move this down 1/4 of an inch. All right, that moves it down 1/4 of an inch. That's going to keep the door handle and the hasp lock in the same location. And like I said, the hinges, we'll worry about those when we get the door in the frame itself. It's going to make a few marks here. We'll worry about put the screws in there. I'll just go ahead and make some marks just because I plan on using all new hardware when we go back together. Those screw holes will actually be in line with the hinges whenever I get all that put on the trailer. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break here for a minute. I'm going to clean up all this hardware, all the aluminum trim and everything that goes on this door. That's going to take a minute. So I'm going to shut the camera off, go out there and get this done, and we'll be right back. All right, since the last segment, I did a little bit of work. I tried to clean up all the aluminum trim that goes on here because it was kind of corroded, and I tried to clean it up best I could. I've got everything put back in place here. Got the sheeting material clamped on here. We got silicone here somewhere. This whole thing was not silicone, only the bottom has silicone on it. So that's what we're going to try to do here today. We're going to start putting the aluminum trim back on this thing. I'm not going to drill any holes in this door other than this trim holes until I get it in place and I make sure that everything's right. You know, I'm pretty sure I've got everything right, but I'd rather make absolutely sure because this is a time-consuming and expensive process, and I just really not want to screw it up. This is the hinge side. There was silicone on the bottom couple of inches. So that's what we're going to try to do here again. I don't know why they just had it on the bottom, but That's where they had it, so that's where we're going to put it. On an inch. All right, it's got that side. Let's do this side. Now again, this just had silicone at the bottom, but it didn't originally have the RV latch in it. I'm going to silicone here as long as I've got this thing apart. That other measurement was about 7/8. This one's not going to be quite that. These aren't exactly precision cut pieces I'm taking it. All right. Next, we'll go with a top, which had no silicone on it at all, so that's exactly the way I'm going to put it back. All right. All right. All right. Now we'll go with the bottom. And the bottom was siliconed really nicely, actually. All right, now we're going to start putting the corners back on. And there was silicone on these corners, so let's put a little bead on here. All right, we're good here. And now we'll put some hardware back in here. All right, we got new screws. These are a little different than what came out of it. It was just plain tech screws, or shouldn't say tech, wood screws. All right, now we'll do all the other holes. All right, that's got everything screwed down here that we're going to do for now. The other screws will be put in line with the hinges once I put the door actually up on the trailer opening. Now I could put them in there like they are, but just wait and put them in line with the door opening. I do need to turn this over. The other door had a kick plate down on the bottom of the door, and I'm going to turn this over and build one for this door as well. Looks pretty good. I kind of like this. Nice and solid. Real freaking solid, actually. It's a heavy door. I really hope I haven't overdone it. And the hinges are strong enough. They should be. They're heavy strap hinges. Oh, I got to put screws in on this side too. Okay. All right, let's get all these screws put in. All right, I'm gonna call that good. Okay, so here's the finished product. CJ came and helped me put the door back on, and in the rush to get things done, I didn't video that, but just to kind of give you a quick idea, in order to space the door in the opening, I used the plain old wooden shims like you use in the construction, hanging doors, windows, whatever. They're 1/4 inch thick on one end, has a row, and I put along the bottom because I needed to raise this door up. It was dragging on the bottom with the old door. So I raised it up 1/4 of an inch, and it was a little out of square in the frame. I don't know whether the door is out or the opening, but something's just a little off. So I ended up putting one shim here and then another shim down here, and it gave me a good 1/4 inch gap all the way around the door. When I went to put the hinges back on, I knew that the other door had it was kind of sprung. I wasn't sure if the hinges were bent or whether that's just the way the thing is. I wasn't real sure, but what I found out was if I put a spacer plate behind the hinges, it made the door much less springy to close. I still had a good seal. I tried a 1/4 inch aluminum first. That was too thick. I went to an 1/8 inch aluminum plate, and that worked fine. I did the same thing over here on the cargo hasp. It was a little tight against the door too, and it was putting a lot of strain on this hasp lock here. You'll also might notice that the panels around the door are a little bit wider than the other panels down there. That's because this panel was damaged, and that one had some minor damage on it. So as long as I had the door off, I'll pop a picture in here. As long as I had the door off, I went on and replaced these two panels as well. We have the RV lock installed here. The door, we've got a much more solid door than the original door. Earlier in the video, you saw that thing was made out of maybe 1x3s, maybe, and this one's made out of 1x6s, and there's a lot more of it there. A much more solid door. To make the RV latch, this is a 1-inch thick door. To make the RV latch work, I have a piece of 3/8 plywood on the inside to space it out. Of course, you have to do some cutting and whatnot on the door frame and all that to make everything work, but it's definitely worth it. Closes up. It has a lock and a deadbolt. We still keep this on there just for added security for driving down the road. You wouldn't necessarily need that at the races, but it's really nice not to have the bungee cord tied to the inside to keep the door closed anymore. Also, everything is caulked, tops of the hinges. I even put some caulk around the holes for the hinge bolts. What caused the demise of the other door was water intrusion. And then that caused the chemical reaction that makes the aluminum basically rot. And I don't have any holes, no screw holes on the outside. This is a thicker material than the original material. The original material is 040, 40 thousandths thick material. This is 050, 50 thousandths material. It's the same thing that's used on 18-wheelers. The last replacement I did, when I bought this trailer, it had damage. I had to replace the other side. The same company that I got this material from had 30 thousandths material. And when I was checking this morning, I noticed that I have some cracks in this area here on the other side where that 30 thousandths material is just not strong enough. So I've got another panel replacement in my future coming. I'm going to use the 50 over there as well. I like this stuff. It's nice and heavy. Again, everything is all caulked, so we don't get any water. Actually, it's silicone. We don't get any water intrusion. There's no extra screw holes in this door like there were in the other door. I don't feel like I need it with the solidity of the door frame itself. The hinges and everything bolted externally hold this panel in place. It's trapped behind the frame. The panel's not going to go anywhere. It's the screws are just not necessary. I think they were more decorative than anything else. But that is that's how you build a replacement cargo door. Remember, your measurements will vary. This is a 4-foot door. It's actually 47 inches. Most trailers don't have one that big. Plan your project. I wasted a lot of time running back and forth to the Lowe's and Home Depot, getting various items that I need. My silicone that I had was bad. I had to run back and get some more of that. I had a couple of carriage bolts get stripped. I had to run and go get that. I mean, it was just one thing after another. Also, before I forget, all my hardware was looking kind of dingy. We even had some rust, so I cleaned all that. Bead blasted, sanded, polished it, and then I took clear coat, Rust-Oleum clear, and I cleared everything so it wouldn't rust again, because this is a galvanized coating, and basically you take that off when you recondition the metal. So all that is polished, all the frame I repolished. So everything is back up to snuff. We got a brand new door on here that should last us. The other one lasted 12 years. I think this one will probably last longer than 12, and by that time, for me, it won't really matter. I'll pretty much done racing by then. But anyway, that's how you do a door. I just really couldn't find a a video that worked for me on the internet, but hopefully this will help somebody get a door done. Appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. It doesn't cost you a dime. All it does is help my channel grow a little bit. And we've got a lot more Garage Talk episodes coming. I've already got one in the can that I'm working on now. And there'll be a few other things along the way. We're in the summer break for racing, so I'll work on some of this garage stuff. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day.